Good morning out there, traders. It is July 3rd, 2024. Welcome to the Apteros DMI. It's, going to be a little weird with the holidays coming up, so no DMI at all tomorrow. Today I'm just doing this one just to kind of keep in the habit of having a good routine. So we'll go over our recap and then we'll take a look at what's going on in our analysis and so forth. So yesterday we had some bearish activity that we were trying to monitor here, and it just basically didn't happen. That's all there is to it. So, some fundamental kind of shifting here and some buying going through on the back of that news, and that's essentially where we ended up finding ourselves. But that doesn't mean we were void of opportunity, because what ended up happening was pretty straightforward in terms of acceptance, which was a real win for us. We had a line in the sand here with scenario 1 being a hold below, scenario 2 being a hold up above. There was no opportunity to get involved with scenario 1. What ended up happening is, we broke down early into the session, went into a target area. The market started to rally back out of that. We were looking for a possible inflection coming back down to test it and continue, and that just did not occur. So scenario 1, no major inflections, no real, opportunity to get short. And what ends up happening is it goes straight up into the first neutral target, and then we start seeing this chop back and forth. But in that move up to here, we've switched into the acceptance picture being scenario 2. So now that we're looking at scenario 2, we know that this area is bullish. We have a really nice bullish scalping opportunity I'd mentioned in the DMI, and that's what really came out of this. Came right back up into our neutral zone, came up into our red zone, where we had an opportunity to get involved with scenario 3. A minor incursion here, not quite making the target area. So it was just one of those situations where we had a really nice scenario 2 switch, really good move from, line in the sand to line in the sand. Then we were looking for a return back in there. It doesn't happen. It stops short, but we got some good MFE. It comes back up, tries to do it again in scenario 3 still. No real MFE at all there. And then, the market shoots up here and we're at scenario 4. And kind of scenario 4 is where we actually find ourselves today with our analysis. So definitely some opportunities, best opportunities of the session. Obviously, coming from this area here and then this area here, and technically this area here as well, for what we have laid out in the DMI. So that's kind of the general areas there. Now we're in scenario 4, and let's take a look at what's going on. So remember, we are dealing with some holiday trading here, so things could get, weird. The market could literally just go completely sideways, not do anything. It could go straight up, it could go straight down, it could do a normal auction. There's really no predictor here, right? Kind of like every day we sit down, we're not sure exactly what's going to happen. We don't predict it. This is just where the analysis falls. Our shorter time frames have shifted to the upside, and we are in kind of the extremes of the higher time frame. So the risk reward isn't great, but the fresh market generated information is right here, and that's kind of our main line in the sand in the short term. So scenario 1 would be a hold up above that, looking for this upper target up here into the 88s. Scenario 2 would be a breakdown and a return back into that rotational context that we'd be looking for there, with some neutral stuff to kind of grind through before it really opens up to the downside for scenario 2. But ultimately, if we start seeing this bullish area really come under pressure, it becomes a pretty obvious switch to scenario 2 and going back into rotational, back into the values that we've been building out here pretty much throughout June. So it's kind of one of those scenarios where we're either looking at the information has shifted enough in the ES to continue to drive this market, or the information wasn't good enough and we end up falling back into value. So that's kind of where we find ourselves here. No DMI tomorrow, and I'll be back at it again on Friday.